The Guns on Pegs podcast is brought to you by iTap Group. Hello and welcome to the Guns on Pegs podcast, the barbecue edition. I'm George Brown.
I'm Avian in an apron.
I'm Jake. And I'm Sam, clicking tongs.
Very good. Yes, that is compulsory. Guys, I don't think it's that much of a secret that I love to cook over live fire. We are absolutely in peak barbecue season now. But also, quite importantly, I think, we are rapidly approaching the shooting season. So I don't know about you guys, but my need to empty the deep freeze of last year's game is becoming quite pressing. So I thought, what better way to do so than to invite some friends over, make a lot of smoke, and singe some wild meat? So I have asked each of you to bring along a game recipe or two or three or a barbecue technique or some ideas that listeners can try this summer. Disclaimer, apologies to US listeners. When I say barbecue, I'm covering all forms of live fire cooking, from smoking to grilling and everything in between. I know that Americans view barbecue as very specifically something else, but I think we'll
They would be shouting at their speakers right now, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So we're just doing all forms of fire cookery. Now, Jake, I suspect that with your South African connections, you're a big braai man. Is that right?
100%. A big braai fist. So, yeah, I'm massive. So I'm going to mention that a lot this evening. I'm not going in on the barbecue. I am full on braai.
Very good. What about you two boys down the Southwest? Are you big barbecuers?
Well, I'll go first and must confess that unfortunately living so close to the coast, which is an absolute blessing, but the problem is, however hot it is during the day, come 8:30, the westerly wind comes in, it's cold and damp, so we don't do quite as many barbecues as I'd like to. So if I was to just say I'm an ambitious barbecuer, and I'm hoping to learn as much from this evening from you three guys, and step it up from bird's eye barbecue grilled steaks and switch it up a bit.
Good stuff, Sam.
I would happily barbecue every day if I could. Time constraints at the moment mean this isn't allowed, but there's been times where I've barbecued in the evening and then relit for breakfast, which is just...
That's hardcore.
Love it.
I think barbecued breakfasts are massively underrated.
Yeah. Agreed.
When I was a kid, having three boys aged between sort of 10 and 13 in the long summer holidays, my mother would basically kick us out of the house. We'd camp on the farm for weeks at a time. We'd be packed off at sort of 6 o'clock each evening with a cool box full of chocolate milk and sausages and bacon.
Yeah.
And we would then cook our own supper over a campfire, and then the following morning we would barbecue bacon, and that is
Barbecue bacon
just
is
the
lovely.
most...
It is good.
It's so good.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll get on with it, shall we? But I think we'll begin with a barbecue-specific "What's that you're drinking?" I think barbecues require a sort of particular sort of drink: long, cold, refreshing, plentiful,
Refillable.
So let's start with Avian.
Well, I've gone for this evening a Cornish lager. I'm not a massive lager drinker anymore, but in the spirit of barbecue, I think ice cold lager is pretty much a UK staple, and I've gone for a Curried. Born in Cornwall, Cornish lager, although I do feel they have just the most baffling strapline in the world, which on the top of the can says, "The coast is our compass."
Right.
Which just sounds rubbish to me,
Surely
but
the wrong
it's
way
very
round.
good. I'm enjoying it.
Very good. Korev sounds like it should be from sort of Siberia.
Yeah, well, I think it is that Cornish dialect. Apparently it's Cornish for lager. I don't know how that happens, being as the lagering process probably didn't happen until Cornish as a language died out. But there you go. That's what it is. And actually, it's a very good tipple. I'm enjoying it.
Very good indeed. Sam?
I have gone for the British barbecue staple, which actually, having talked about breakfast barbecues, it can be drunk then as well. It is the don't laugh as if you haven't. We all have. It is the 330ml twist top Budweiser. that is usually found in like a livestock trough full of ice, or just a box in a fridge or something like that, and you can drink as many as you want. They don't count towards anything. They're wonderful. What have you got, Jake?
So it's quite simple, chaps. Barbecue, braais, whatever you call it. Just go for a rosé, surely. Then you go gin and tonics. Then you go to the shots. Then you realise you've got children running around the place. They're all hungry. You've filled up on chips and dip. And then you're like, oh, bugger, I've burnt the chicken drumsticks as well. Sugar, take out, let's go. You've had a great night. So always start with a rosé, add a braai, barbecue, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm drinking tonight, chaps, because you know what? I've a bit like Chris, I've got a wine guy. All of us.
Get you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
It stumbled across to Branches Park and working closely with the local wine merchant. A lovely, lovely chap, James, shop manager for Corney and Barrow here in Newmarket. So he's been on to me and he's like, look, I've got to get you into this wine thing. You know, you've got to get a better understanding of what you're drinking, everything like that. So he's given me a bottle of the Corney and Barrow Rosé, which is a very good staple. And he said, listen, I'm going to help you out here. This is your price range. Come back in once a month. We'll give you a box. It's like fair play. So I've now got a wine guy, chat. So I'm right pleased. And he did supply those sticks for us all last week.
They were very good. I enjoyed those.
So they weren't bad. So yeah, that's what I've been drinking, chap. So yeah, cheers everyone.
Cheers. Good health.
Cheers. Mr. Brown, what have you got?
Well, I was thinking about having a Pimm's because I think that's a
good shout.
A proper sort of garden drink. But then I decided I couldn't really be bothered with all the admin.
It's a lot of chopping, isn't it?
And, got to go and find mint in the garden and borage flowers and all that sort of stuff. It is a wonderful drink. It's only worth making in volume, and I'm not going to sit here and drink a whole jug of it.
Absolutely. We used to walk around in the summer at uni. It shows how long ago that was. We'd buy jugs. I think they're a £10 a jug of Pimm's.
Well, that really shows how long ago it was.
Yeah. In the winter, it was snakebite. In the summer, it was Pimm's. And you'd just walk around with one or two jugs, and you just drink them through straws. They're brilliant. But tell me, do you add a little bit extra into your
Yes.
A little bit extra.
Depends which cup you're going for.
Gin, vodka.
So there's a gin cup or a vodka cup. Yeah. You can do a Pimm's with a bourbon.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite challenging.
I was going to say, but I have been responsible for a lot of people's hangovers on purpose by adding gin in. Like just a good old bottle of Gordon's or whatever's kicking about, grab it, add it, and it's easier if I just make it. You guys go and enjoy the barbecue. I'll bring you the drink.
I think
do you know what works brilliantly if you want to do a gin Pimm's is Hendrick's?
Yes.
Because you've got the cucumber already in it and it just seems to slide in under the rest of it almost unnoticed.
100%.
You see, this is the thing with Pimm's in general, even unadulterated with extra gin, is it is a drink that you have the first one, typically quite small cups, lots of ice, and you go, God, that's good, and you absolutely neck it. And then you have 3 or 4 more in quick succession. As the Pimm's gets progressively warmer, you get progressively warmer, and it and suddenly it creeps up on you. It doesn't taste boozy enough to be a truly safe drink.
Absolutely. It's because of the sweetness and all the... I mean, it looks like a wet fruit salad if it's done properly, doesn't it? And the risk is you can have quite a few. But yeah, I can see Jake as the enabler.
Yes.
100%.
So anyway, instead of that, I've gone for a local ale. It's Gooden's Gold from the oft-mentioned Flower Pots Brewery. It's a golden ale. That Cheriton is right... where the brewery is right at the sort of source almost of the Itchen, so it feels a suitable drink, and it's delicious stuff. Good, right, okay. So on to the barbecue bonanza. Avian, why don't you kick us off?
Well, like I said in the intro, George, I do enjoy barbecues, but I've never been as adventurous as I think we're going to get onto later on. But I had the good fortune of having a chat with a friend of the pod, Leon Chalice Davies, during the week. And he's very kindly given us a recipe for everybody to try, which I was going to try and claim for myself. And we did hatch a cunning plan to weave this story about when I was in Tasmania and we had strips of wallaby on the barbecue, and this dip was the recipe handed down from the old man with the coolie bag at the Billabong. But I decided that I probably couldn't make that fly. But I'm going to throw this one in because I am a big fan of dips and marinades and that sort of thing. So this is one that I was looking at. Very quickly, 100 ml of light soy, 100 ml of dark soy, 50 ml of white rice wine, 25 ml of sesame oil, 4 teaspoons of crispy chili oil, 25 grams of grated ginger, 2 cloves of garlic, really finely cut, and 2 teaspoons of MSG, and use that as a dip for all manner of fowl on the barbecue, and it is bloody wonderful.
That sounds really good. It's almost sort of like a glaze.
Yeah, I guess you could use it as a glaze or a dipping sauce or whatever. But I think that combination gives it that kind of fusion taste to it.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be hearing from the man himself shortly.
Well, yes. Shall we play in Leon's recipe suggestion now?
Let's pop him in. Leon, give us your finest barbecue recipe for game, mate.
I love this one. It's probably one of my favourites, something I do quite a lot. It is an overnight job because the longer you leave it, I think the better and the flavour it is. So get some pheasant breast, strip it up. So you probably get 4 strips out of a whole pheasant breast. And you want to do 50 grams of crunchy peanut butter, none of the soft stuff. No one likes that. You want 50 grams of gochujang sauce, which is quite readily available now in supermarkets. You want about 20 mils of sesame oil, pinch of MSG, which is probably my favourite, crispy chili oil, a couple of teaspoons of that, or you can use the poor man's sweet chili sauce. I prefer the crispy oil just because it's got more bite and crunch to it. Give that all a mix, drop your pheasant into it, leave it a minimum of 10 hours, and then whack that on the cooler side of the barbecue. Don't go straight heat because everything will burn, but you do want the nice char. Get it on the side. I reckon it's going to take you a couple of minutes each strip, and then serve that on whatever. You can do lettuce, you can do noodles if you are. Nobody does noodles, but even potato salad, banging.
That sounds fantastic. So there you go. If you want to do it properly, give that one a go. And what would you call that? Give that recipe a name.
I don't know, Leon's sticky sauce.
That'll do.
You guys come up with it. Maybe put that out to the guys and get people to try it, and then come back with the name. That's pretty. It's lovely. Really is lovely.
Brilliant.
But yeah,
fantastic.
So there you go. That's Leon's special sauce.
I think the name definitely needs some work, but it sounds delicious.
So big thanks to Leon for doing that for us this morning. So anyway, I mean, like I said, I'm a bit of a sort of a beginner's barbecuer. So taking to my nerd side, I thought I'd have a quick look, rather than bore you with a recipe that you've either done before or is rather pedestrian. I thought I'd have a quick look at barbecues around the world.
Ooh.
So bit of background before you guys tear into the mouth-watering goodness that is outdoor cooked meat. Barbecues, oldest method of cooking over an open fire, and there's archaeological evidence that suggests we've been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years. I think now they can find the charcoal pits and what have you. But what we recognise now as a barbecue was developed much, much later. And they reckon that the word barbecue comes from the Taino people of the Caribbean, and their word was barbacoa, which described a wooden framework used for cooking meat slowly over smoke. And when the Spanish came in and wiped them out, they took the idea of barbecue back with them. So around the world today, as I think George alluded to earlier, all of our American friends across the herring pond, barbecue there is very specifically brisket, ribs, pulled pork, cooked very, very slowly, and it's more smoking than cooking, and it's all about rubs. The wood they use, oaks, hickories, mesquites, to give that long, day-long, 2-day-long pulled meat, big celebration, what have you. In Argentina, I think, George, you're a bit of a wannabe fan of the asado. There you go.
Yeah.
And again, that's beef, ribs, steak, and sausages. In Brazil, they call it a churrasco, which tends to be more skewered meats. South Africa, I don't need to tell Jake, but the braai, and that's boars and lambs and steaks, lots of meat, lots of fun. Japan, they have the yakiniku, which is very thinly sliced beef with specialist charcoals, and there's quite a ceremony around that. South Korea, I thought it was a bit unfortunate, and I guess this comes from the States again. It's known as Korean barbecue. But I thought if you're in Korea and you're Korean, you probably know it's a Korean barbecue. But anyway, over there, the dishes are bulgogi and galibi, which is
different one for North Korea or not?
Nobody can tell you. But it's very ribeye beef, very thinly sliced is bulgogi, and the galbi uses short ribs across the bone. And again, you can see the US influence here. Apparently, that's known as LA style. I don't know if LA is part of Korea, but there you go. UK, I thought this was rather depressing. I when I was Googling all of this, I found it's known globally as garden barbecue.
Is it?
Yes, and we're known for burgers, sausages, and chicken. So I hope you three lads will sort that out. But there was one I really wanted to touch on, was the Australian barbecue.
Yes, the land of the barbecue.
The land of the barbecue, the Barbie.
The shrimp on.
Indeed. And obviously it's snags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not bloody shrimps.
No.
If you were to ask an Australian to throw a shrimp on the Barbie, he'd probably beat you to death because it's always a prawn.
Yeah.
But I looked at it, and the other thing I thought was fascinating was the types of equipment you can use for barbecues. And I think if we start at the very, very, very bottom, it's the shopping trolley.
Yes. Or the half oil drum.
Half oil
drum.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's okay. The shopping trolley, be careful.
Bad and wrong. Absolutely, Jake. So although it sounds fun, for God's sake, if you're improvising a barbecue anywhere, make sure you use food-safe grills, particularly because a lot of the other grill-like things, the shopping trolley on its side, for example, Google very politely said that taking a shopping trolley from a store is considered theft. But I think that'd be the least of your problems.
Even if you pay a pound.
Quid in, yeah.
Yeah, well, isn't that the one you get out with the corner of your pocket knife? But if you're using galvanized metals, for God's sake, be careful, because the heat releases all the heavy metal toxins. Yeah. It's really, really bad for you. But then I guess you go on to everybody in the countryside's bête noire is the disposable barbecue.
Yes, Satan's barbecue.
Absolutely. Down here we get all sorts of problem with people trying to bury them in the sand, and they stay hot for months, and kids run over them. They set fire to grassland and moorland. Awful things.
It was a thing, growing up in Wittering, very lucky to have West Wittering as our playground. And people used to bury those barbecues in the sand when people were walking home. A vile thing to do. I mean, you're right, what you say about the fires and what have you, but why would you even think about doing it? And I just don't get it, because it's one clear way to get food poisoning is get one of those god-awful disposable barbecues. Yes. It heats up to a nuclear level of heat. Yes. You stick a sausage on and you're like, should it really be cold and damp in the middle?
and taste slightly of paraffin. Yeah. No, I agree with George. They are the devil's work, and they should be banned. They are. But then again, I guess the choice is for your standard cheap off the supermarket B&Q type barbecue, gas or charcoal. I mean, for me as an amateur, gas is just easy, but I don't think you get barbecue flavour at all. You just get slightly charred, bad control.
You can get, there's some sort of fancy gas ones that have systems that they say help to generate the sort of smokiness. They have flavorizer bars, Weber talk about, for example. But you're right. So I've been using proper sort of artisan charcoal this year, and my God, the difference is incredible. It gets unbelievably hot, but also just there's this incredible smoky flavor that you just don't get, even with the the sort of bagged sort of instant light charcoal.
Yes,
it just isn't the same, and it's not. I don't think that I'd actually haven't the faintest idea how much I'm paying for this charcoal, but it doesn't feel expensive, or I would know.
No,
we go through about a bag a week, and it seems quite reasonable.
Yes, and I think if you are going to barbecue, ideally it should be a fairly long-term affair. It's not, we're not air frying here. It's not expediency. It's not quick cook, get in, eat. It should be start in the morning, prepare. I love going to people who know what they're doing's barbecues, and it's a long-term affair, and there's charcoal going, and it takes time to get there. So gas barbecues, I think they're useful. I've got a little Weber one that I love to death because it's a portable, pop it in the car, take it up the chute, have a few sausages after a work day, bloody fantastic. The risk of catching fire to anything else is minimised, and it's just a sensible, boring way of doing it. But then one I'd never come across before was the wood pellet grills.
Oh, yes. Well, these are very fancy.
These sound quite hardcore, don't they?
Yeah, so Chris has got one.
Of course.
And
you guys ran a competition, didn't you, a couple of seasons back?
We did, yes. I'm pretty sure Frank's got one as well. They're very smart. I think they are the sort of thing. They're very much designed for the sort of long, low and slow cooks that you've been talking about. I think they can go hot, but really the idea is that it does away with a lot of the kind of fire management that you have to do for those low and slow cooks.
Yeah.
You just bung a bunch of pellets in the hopper and tell it how long you want it to cook for, at what temperature, and it does the rest.
Oh, that sounds very good.
Yeah.
You have an app for it.
And is that, would you say, George, that is sort of the crossover between European barbecuing and American smoking? Is there a bit of a link there?
I would say that it's much closer to American smoking barbecues. That sort of thing, people are getting more into in this country, I think. But it's not, quickly flashing off a few sausages. It's for more involved, for the barbecue enthusiast, for sure.
Excellent.
Now, arguably, the true barbecue enthusiast would view it as cheating. But it is the over and under of the barbecue world.
You have to get that in every time, don't you? The next one on the list was the Kamado grill, which people probably know better as the ceramic egg.
The big green egg.
The big green egg and other brands are available. Apparently Kamado Joe is a big American brand. They look fantastic. And I think perhaps if you've got, dare we say, slightly limited space, I think they work exceptionally well in an urban environment if you've got sort of balcony space or, small patio or something. And the other thing is they just look bloody cool, don't they?
They are very cool.
Audi do an equivalent.
Who was the bloke that we met? We shot...
yes.
Long Mountain.
If
No.
you just calm down, gentlemen.
It was at Ragley Hall, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't even at Ragley Hall. That's a game fair. It wasn't at Long Mountain.
No,
it was
right. Ripley Castle, wasn't it?
It was last Christmas, and if you just hold on, you will see what's coming up.
All right, okay. Let's not let the dogs off the leash yet. Then, thank you, Jake. We'll come back to those. I mean, these ones sounded really cool, and I think the very American. The offset smoker.
Yeah.
So that's the real proper pit smoker, and they run from a couple $100 to north of thousands.
Yes, they're the ones that look like a sort of steam engine.
Absolutely, I've seen them built into the side of fire trucks and massive affairs.
It's become so big, hasn't it? This fire pit cooking.
Yes.
I think through Instagram and the influencers, wouldn't you say that this whole kind of foodie street food? What do you reckon?
I think you're right, Jake. But I think also there is a romance with outdoor cooking. I mean, as soon as George started talking about his early days being kicked out of the house and you and the brothers go off and feed yourselves, it just brought back memories of doing exactly the same and just, scrounging up a few bits of dyed back elm and just burning wood and cooking food on it. That's the primal thing. But I think it's become very, very social. I mean, whether it's one of the good things we've inherited from our friends in the States, but, if you're in the Mediterranean, I love the charcoal fish grills in Portugal.
Sardines
just
on
that
sword.
Slow. It is proper slow cooking, isn't it? There's preparation needs doing. You've got to plan it out. Nothing's rushed. Drink some wine or some beer whilst you're doing it. It's wonderful.
But
I think that's exactly it.
You take it back to the like you say, the primal social thing. It doesn't matter whether you're cooking on coal, in an old oil drum, gas, whatever you're using. The main point of it is that social thing. Everyone's gathered round, almost primal, like you say, cooking over fire is just it's brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I think you're absolutely right about the level of care that goes into it, though, because it's very easy to bung a frying pan on a ceramic hob and cook some food. But when you're cooking with fire, typically you're doing it. I mean, Sam and I obviously barbecue quite a lot, but like if you're having a bunch of friends over, the fact that you're doing it on a barbecue, I think just encourages you to put that little bit more thought into it, to experiment a bit more as well with marinades and rubs and what have you. So I think there's a degree to which, we're lighting the fire, so we better actually, pull out some, if not all, of the stops. Because to make it a bit of a ceremony.
It's a show.
I agree with you, George, and I think it's a bit like, why do we hunt? Why do we shoot? There is that very primal coming together of providing food, and it is the old cliche that blokes will huddle around a $9.99 B&Q sort of barrel barbecue and just prod the coals and turn burgers and talk nonsense. There is a massive monkey social thing to it, which I think is brilliant. But the last one on the list was the one that, come the lottery win, boys, or when this filthy podcast money starts cascading in, is the Guy Ritchie luxury outdoor kitchen.
That's awesome.
Yes. That's when you've got all the houses you want, isn't it?
You've ticked off all the continents. Yeah, very much so. So that's my little background, because I probably won't be able to add too much to the recipes you guys are going to talk to us about.
Lovely stuff.
Maybe when we've done the recipes, I have dug out a few classic barbecue cocktails that I thought might be a bit different whilst the coals are heating up. We could come back to.
Okay, that sounds good.
Cool.
Let's crack on then. Jake, since you've teased us, you can go next.
Yeah, 100%. So I can't disagree with anything that you've just said, Ave, or we've all agreed on. Barbecuing, braaiing, whatever you want to call it, isn't just about food, is it? It's just about that slowing down.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important with the friends, the family, the conversation, standing around a fire, and it becomes the center. And I think what you alluded to in when you were recording the last episode there, George, about, and Chris says, women talk to each other, men stand side by side.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes,
and I thought that was such a good line. And in preparation for this, I was listening back to that episode going, yes, and that is what about standing around a fire is. It's about that download. It's that opportunity. And if we get time, we will talk about, I think there's a bit of braai politics. If you hold the tongs, then you get to talk.
It's like the conch, is it?
Well, if you're English and an Afrikaner's barbecue, you might as well go and stand in the kitchen. You've got to earn that spot. I mean, it's one of those things. And it really is, I love fire cooking. I've learned it over the last 20 years. I'm not one of these kind of real heavy like mitts and, kind of like fire and what have you, but I do love it and I do get involved. So, as we alluded, we did meet Max at the Order of the Garters shoot day last Christmas when we went.
It was, yes,
to Mount Garrett, and Max, lovely chap. He's working a second job behind the bar there, and he kept us with Hendrix till about 1 a.m. Didn't he, boys? Anyway, we got talking, and he really was, and he and his father and his family own the company Metartle. Now, Metartle is a hand-made Yorkshire barbecue creators. They've got these wonderful kind of fire cookery things, which is their signature one is the Asado Nino. Which, have you seen them, chaps?
Are these like long, the Parilla thing with the up and down?
With the up and down, but it's got like a steering wheel on the side, but it's also like one of the old vintage like steering wheels, really cool. Wheel. So I've kept in contact with Max, and he's sent down one of his Infernos.
You are kidding me.
You spawny git.
So I have had very much the pleasure of cooking on these. Now, the Inferno, if you can imagine, like it's a cylindrical shape, it's got the cast iron top. You can put your fire in, you can have different areas of heat. It's amazing. So it works like a fire pit. It acts like a cook and the top of a stove in various different ways, but then you've got the cage. So then you can hang your your lumps of venison, you can hang your whatever, even your pineapples. Have you noticed that this thing recently about burning and like smoking out pineapples as a dessert? It's new to me, but I've seen it very much. So you get the cage, but you also get the crucifix, so you can put like a munty over the top as well, or you can put like a lamb. You've got similar, George, haven't you?
Well, that's an asado.
Yes,
the asado cross. What's the name of the company again, Jake?
Metartal, Metartal.
I think we're going to have some bits in the show notes in this episode, aren't we, chaps?
I think we're going to need to, aren't we? Yes.
Definitely.
That's a very cool little piece of kit.
100%, 100%. You never know; there might even be a discount code as well. So we'll see what we can rustle up.
Yeah, come on, give us a recipe. Give us your recipe.
Yes, we're hungry now. Come on, man.
You want a recipe? So for me, here we go. So it is really get a bit of lamb and the lamb breast. Often that's just the cheap bit of meat which is stuck in the corner in the supermarkets where you go to your butchers for. Sear it, cook it slowly over the charcoals. Okay, but lemon juice, bry salts, aromat, Worcestershire sauce. Say that after 2 glasses of wine. Worcestershire
or Chester sauce.
And do you know what? And what you can do if you sear that and let that all get in, and then turn it and get that so it's just cooking. So you don't want to burn the lamb breast. You don't want to overcook it because it comes rubbery. But you just need to find it at that right point where you can cut it up and just hand it round as like a little starter. It's wonderful because what you see is you get this.
Yep.
It's a bit of just yum, but you get the lovely lemon flavour behind it. You get that lovely salt from those bry. So you've got the MSG within the bry salts. It's imported in from South Africa. You get the aromat, which is that lovely, lovely kind of just everyday thing, and a bit of the Leon Perry's just to give it a bit of a spice. So that always was my starter, and I'm salivating even just thinking about it. But recently I went to a sim day and we were given curried pheasant and chorizo.
Ooh.
Big win. Huge win. Take 4 breasts, chop, 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 chop. Do your chorizo.
What, cubes or slices?
However you want, really, because you just pick up and what have you. So whatever takes your fancy when preparing.
Gotcha.
Probably just a little cube, actually, George, because then you can pair it with a bit of chorizo, bit of curried pheasant. We've got some partridge as well. Chaps, hand that round on some sticks. That is an Arc de Triomphe. That really, really is. So that is my kind of go-to starter for entertaining guests. And I love it.
Fantastic. I'm going to make a barbecue called an Arc de Triomphe.
I think you should. I think there's one going spare in the States at the moment that nobody's going to, isn't there?
Yeah.
But just asking for a friend called Sam, will your lamb recipe work with goat?
Finally, a use for the bastards.
Yeah, I do like cooking venison these days. I think there's something about it, you know.
What's your go-to?
We got so much fallow around here that if I can get something fallow, kind of the back straps and what have you, you put that out, George, you're going to feed a lot of people.
Yeah.
We are inundated.
Do you
with
cook
fallow.
it in any special way or just salt, pepper, bang it on?
For me, it's salt and pepper. And I remember watching, I can't remember, it was one of the celebrity chefs, and they said avoid salt because it dries the meat out. So I actually just offer flakes of salt afterwards, cook with pepper, and then but plenty of oil. Growing up, working in pubs and restaurants, I was very lucky to have some chef friends that have done rather well for themselves, and they're kind of well known these days. And it's one of those where you just you pick up tips from them and the way they teach it, and they say just plain and add later. So we all make mistakes and what have you. I'm not a big fan of fish, and so I don't cook it, but I take my hat off to anyone that can cook a good bit of fish over hot coals, because to me that sounds rather dangerous. So I'm hoping one of you guys have got a fish one to go with. But again, the last bit is, what do you put on the side? Do you just do a lump of green salad and everything like that? And I think the sides make it just as much fun. Do you go Waldorfy? Do you kind of add feta, bits and pieces? And Laura over the years has created this wonderful, wonderful potato salad. So what she does is she smashes her potatoes, new potatoes, then puts them in the oven, crisps them off, then adds avocado, sweet corn, mayonnaise, but she puts the herbs on the potatoes, so a bit of garlic, bit of kind of herby Italian type stuff as well, you know. It's just wonderful. Guys, you know, I'm salivating. I'm going to eat it.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, I'm going to throw into the mix here and just think, what drink would you go with that? So, I'll go with your lamb, or goat. Obviously, those meats can be quite oily, quite greasy. There's a lot of fat with them.
Yeah.
A lot of complex flavors. So, I'm going to go for a mix for that as a cocktail called a Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
So served in a Collins glass, gets 50 ml of cognac, 50 ml of the best apple juice you can get. If you can get a pulped apple juice, so pulp in, slightly thicker, even better. 25 ml of apple schnapps liqueur, and 50 ml of lemon lime soda, so a Sprite or a 7-Up, whatever you can get to hand. Served chilled in a tall Collins glass with a wedge of apple. And I think that would just give you that little bit of acidity, little bit of sweetness to complement and offset some of the greasiness in the lamb.
That sounds like a really good drink.
I think that's
really, really
good.
That's really good. I think that's spot on. And then, hey, we mustn't forget the children. Oops.
Bollocks to that.
Bugger that. This is a grown-up club.
apart from your cocktails, Ave, that I wouldn't offer them. But I actually don't these days offer them anything different like a sausage or a burger, though we do make our own game and burgers and sausages from the shoot. But offer them the same. I think it's so important that they understand, and I really do encourage them to get involved.
Yes.
Have you guys seen those really long tongs that come out of South Africa? They're called donkey long tongs. Say that after a few glasses. But have a look for them. They're donkey long tongs. They'll be at the game fair, I'm sure. But they come in a kit. But what it allows you to do is get Toby involved or youngsters involved, because they are literally like 18 inches, if not 24 inches long. So they can actually work the meat safely. And there's other bits to them as well, like a blowpipe and how you get your
blowpipe.
You've got to get your air under.
Is this so you can kill the goat?
No. Actually, now you're coming into a bit of... You're getting into the darker sides of how to get your braai going. So do you fan it? Do you blow heat under? How do you stack your coals? How do you... Go on then.
I have been employing the dustpan off of the dustpan and brush, which is an excellent fan.
Brilliant fanner. Yeah.
You don't go for the...
You haven't gone for the leaf blower yet.
I was just about to say there's still 360 and just absolutely murder it.
I like my fire pit to remain in the garden.
How old-fashioned of you, George. Well, actually, I was just looking online here. It's sorted, George. Donkey long tong. Yeah, you're right, Jake. That's not easy to say after a bit. They do a leather paddle. For use for fanning, and it's leather, so it won't.
Are you sure that's what quickly. It's for?
Maybe it's an après barbecue. Après braai.
I think we better move this on.
I think we had.
Sam, come on, get us out of this hole. Get us out of this hole, Sam. Come on.
Right, first of all, if you're battling with greasy lamb or indeed greasy goat, I will recommend Hebridean lamb.
Good shout.
Which you'd probably actually have more as hogget, so a little bit older, a little bit slower grown, but less fatty and slightly darker and just delicious. So that's good. And Avian, you talking about barbecues from around the world takes me back to possibly the best barbecue I ever had, which was in 2010 on the edge of Lake Wanaka in New Zealand on Christmas Day, while on the phone to my dad, who was telling me about the fact he'd stolen my Land Rover because it was snowing so heavily. And I was saying, I've got sunburnt feet. I'm eating steaks and prawns off a barbecue. I don't effing care.
Very good.
But I am starting the food off the barbecue. So while everyone's drinking their twist top buds and, gin infused Pimms, I'd be encouraging everybody to have some venison jerky.
Ooh, good idea.
So I think
lovely.
We should all get a dehydrator if we don't have one already. George, for the vast amounts of wild garlic you pick, when the time is right, you can then dehydrate that. I want to do more with pheasant and partridge this year. Make some jerky with that as well.
Yes.
Is a brilliant site, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, called Weschenfelder Direct.
Yes, I like that website. Lots of fun toys.
Lots of fun toys. He does all your burger kit, sausage kit, dehydrators, spices, everything you need. So yeah, I would encourage everybody to get dehydrating stuff. Great way to preserve stuff. Yeah, awesome.
Not just ourselves around a braai when we're drinking too much. And
Well, I think we've got our own built-in dehydrators, but yeah. That sounds bloody good, Sam. What else would you go for?
So I haven't made these for a few years, but this year, I don't know about you guys, I'm seeing a lot more rabbits this year than I have the past few years.
They're on the up, aren't they?
Which means I'm going back to bunny burgers.
Ooh.
Which is,
good shot.
Decent sized rabbit. Take all the meat off the bone. I like to put it in milk overnight in the fridge, diced up, put it in milk.
Does that just tenderize it a bit?
Just tenderize it, adds a bit of moisture to it as well.
Yeah.
And I find that when you do that, if you're making the burgers, you can use a little bit less. I still need to put some pork fat in, but you can use a little bit less pork fat.
I think the milk also takes some of that funk off them.
Yeah, it can do,
it?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. What, like a carp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, cut all that off, milk them overnight. So you've got, I'd say probably do 80-20 rabbit to pork fat.
Yep.
Crush a clove of garlic in there, a pinch of dried thyme, paprika and chili powder. You can even put dried garlic in if you've only got that in the cupboard. A bit of chili powder if you want an extra kick, which is quite nice. Generous amounts of salt and pepper. Mince it, press it, chuck it in the fridge, cook it on the barbecue in a bap with nothing else other than butter, maybe a bit of mayo if you want it, maybe some spicy or herby mayo or something like that.
That
delicious.
That sounds really good. Now, it's something you were talking about, that German equipment company. It's something it's scratching the back of my head and sort of building up to this episode, sort of looking around barbecues and bits and bobs, but more the meat preparation. I think I've got a hankering for my first mincer.
Oh,
yeah.
You won't
go back.
You won't go wrong.
That's what I thought. In my head, I've allocated a bit of space in the utility kitchen that Claire doesn't go too often and I might get away with. So very, very quickly, boys, I don't want to break your flow there, Sam, but recommend an entry-level mincer.
The Morpheum Richards.
Right. Entry level.
55 quid.
I got one from the middle of Lidl for $19.99.
The middle of Lidl. I went to Lidl for the first time the other day and I didn't do very well.
Oh, will you? Oh, I went to Lidl for the first time. Oh, the pinch is really hitting you down there, isn't it? Fuck. Will you behave? Oh, sorry, Waitrose boy.
I put the rabbits through that. I put a lot of things. I wouldn't put anything that's may have bone in it through it.
Yeah,
just because it's not quite up to it. But it does most things. So you haven't. This is stuff. If you're looking at dehydrators, you're probably just over 100 quid.
Yes,
for a small one, but it'll do more than you need. Yeah, mincers and stuff like that. Spend 50 quid. You'll get a hell of a lot of use out of it, and it's unreal.
I mean, the hand crank mincer. You have to be, if you're going to do any volume.
Yes,
you've got to be prepared for a workout.
I've ruled that out.
Yeah,
it's power.
Does Claire have a KitchenAid? Or do you have a KitchenAid?
No.
Mixer thingy? Because my mincer is just an attachment for
so you mean I could do that and the dough hook and...
Correct, yeah.
That sounds
what
like
you
the
could
ticket.
do is you could frame it as not a present for you at all.
Well, it would go to me because whilst my wife is extraordinarily talented in many, many ways and professionally fantastic, when it comes to preparing food, that's very much my department. So
gotcha.
It could be, I mean, it won't sit alongside the salmon kettle and the rice cooker and the bread maker. It will actually get used.
Yes.
Yeah. The vegetable
So an all-in-one sounds like the ticket.
Yeah.
And what am I looking to pay for one of those, George?
Oh, they're a few hundred quid, but they're not crazy.
Yes.
And because it does so many things, you don't feel like you're being fleeced. And you can get all sorts of attachments. You can get a spice grinder and all the rest of it to go on
easy,
there
Tiger.
as well.
Come on, we're getting a bit a bit professional level.
Avian will be having smoothies for breakfast and all sorts in the morning.
Yeah.
As long as you can put bacon and beans through it, yes, I'll have bacon and bean smoothie.
But if you can get the one which says just to mince 3 different courses,
Yes.
but also can make sausages. I think that's a really good, and then you can do.
I did think about that. I think sausages are a little bit next year for me.
The problem with those sausage stuffer attachments I have found is that you need 6 hands to operate it, and it just doesn't work. So my next purchase, I might even buy one at the game fair if I can find a deal, is a proper sausage stuffer which you can effectively operate single-handedly, so to speak, by yourself.
I think my experience level at the moment is let's start with mincer and see where we go.
Mince and burgers, because you're not being pressured. You can watch a butcher make sausages and think, oh yeah, he makes that look easy, and then you stand yourself in front of one of those machines and it's going everywhere, and it's
I think I'd get away with a bit of covert mincing, but sausage meat all over the ceiling, that's a no-no. Well, look, I thought I love the idea of the bunny burgers, so from my little list I've picked a cocktail to go with those.
Yes.
So I thought it was quite aptly named for another friend of the pod. This is the Hugo Spritz.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is fresh mint leaves, 40 ml of elderflower liqueur, 60 ml of soda water, and 60 ml of dry Prosecco. So very simple. Mix the ingredients, briefly slur. Mix the ingredients. Mix the ingredients, briefly stir. Muddle the mint leaves in, garnish with a lime wedge and a mint sprig bouquet, apparently. But I thought that might just give that little bit of fizz and booze and freshness and a bit of that sort of green herbaceous flavour.
Very
Did
nice.
any of you try the Dampneys elderflower liqueur that was on the side of the gun bus on the sim day?
I did not. It was too hot.
No, it was too hot.
So
I was a full-time driver for that one.
So I looked at it and I saw John T's gin liqueurs on the side there at 11's, and I was like, do you know what? I don't fancy any others but the elderflower one. And Ave, I reckon if you were to put some of that into what you just described into a Hugo, spot on.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Sam, have you got another recipe for us?
I've got one that's a bit of work in progress, because back along I was obviously feeling quite affluent, and I went into a Waitrose to grab something for dinner, and they had a Middle Eastern style beef with mango sauce, which turned out to be delicious. And I'm trying to kind of reverse engineer the recipe and do it with venison. So I'm kind of marinate venison with a Middle Eastern spice, sumac, coriander, cumin, and smoked paprika. And I'm also thinking then cook over smoke, maybe hot smoke or long cook.
Nice.
Ah, good job. Yes.
So it's almost like pulled venison, and then serve it with a mango sauce, which if you're barbecuing, it would probably be more of a mango salsa, like fresh mango, olive oil, lemon juice, maybe a touch of harissa.
Bit of coriander.
And chuck that on a flatbread and serve it with some of that herby yogurt. Just that Middle Eastern.
That sounds fancy as fuck.
Yeah,
it does.
Sam, you've pulled it out of the bag.
I also think it's really, really easy.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to develop it a little bit further, I'd be more than willing. But yeah, no, it's a good flavour combination, definitely.
I reckon we throw that out to Hugo and Leon, don't you?
I think so. That sounds like a smasher.
Brilliant.
George, come on. Mr. Georgie Mears, he hunts with spears and cooks with fire. What have you got for us?
Right. So
that didn't rhyme at all, did it?
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to rattle through these a bit because I've got a few to get through. But I've got an easy one, a slightly more involved one, and then I've got one that I've not been brave enough to try yet, and one that I would not recommend.
Cool.
So the first one is an easy game barbecue curry. So if you go to your local supermarket, they definitely have these in Tesco's. They definitely have them in Waitrose. Buy yourself a Spice Tailor tikka masala kit. Dice up some pheasant or partridge to sort of, inch cubes, something like that. And your Spice Tailor kit comes with 3 packets: some herbs and spices, a little base sauce packet, and then a bigger main sauce packet. Take the smaller sauce packet and marinate your pheasant or partridge in it for a few hours. I mean, even an hour is enough. Then stick your pheasant or partridge on a skewer and barbecue that over super hot coals. So you want to cook it quickly, and you want to get actually some bits that have just caught some sort of blackness char to them.
Yes. Yes.
While they're cooking, and it literally takes minutes to do this, go inside and make the base sauce. So you fry off the spice blend, and then you bung in the main sauce, and you then just simmer it for a minute or two. If you're feeling fancy, you can chuck some yogurt or some cream in to finish that sauce off. Bring the skewers inside, bung them in the sauce, stir it around a bit. Done. The whole process takes about 15 minutes tops, and then serve those on some of Mrs. Brown's sourdough naan brushed with wild garlic butter, if you've got wild garlic, or just garlic butter.
Nice.
That is the absolute nuts. It's so easy, so good, and takes no time at all. It's a bit of a cheat and works brilliantly. I then have got what I call my magic green sauce, which is a marinade that works on pheasant, partridge, and venison. I've not tried it on anything else, but I imagine it would work. It's basically a salsa verde. It's just some handfuls of soft herbs, and it sort of doesn't really matter which herbs you use. I've often used thyme and lemon thyme and oregano and marjoram or basil, mint, whatever you happen to have around. Wild garlic, if you've got it. A few cloves of garlic, a spoon of Dijon, some olive oil, some red wine vinegar, maybe a squeeze of lemon, a chilli if you like a bit of a kick, some salt and pepper, bung it all in the blender, whiz it up. It should be sort of smooth but not runny.
Yes.
That makes sense. Taste it. If it needs some sweetness, chuck some honey or some sugar in. If it's not quite tart enough, chuck some more red wine vinegar in. Just keep adding stuff.
Keep adjusting it,
yeah. And then what I do with pheasant or partridge is I put whole breast fillets in and marinate them overnight. Or with venison, I use whole steaks.
Yes.
So either back straps or steaks cut from the haunch.
Yeah.
And then with the game birds, I will cook them. I'll skewer them again just to make it easier, so I don't have to turn quite so frequently. I do these for 11s on our shoot days, so I'll do 20 odd pheasant breasts or whatever. So just to make it easy, I skewer them and cook them again, pretty hot heat under them. And the same with the venison, you want it absolutely ripping hot for those. And it is absolutely fantastic, so easy to do. And then, so for my not brave enough to try, have you heard of dirty cooking? It's something that's, I can't remember who recommended it to me. Somebody suggested you get a whole backstrap off a row or something like that, and once the coals have got that sort of bed of white on them, so they're properly cooked down and super duper hot, you literally just throw the backstrap directly on the coals. Now that really appeals to me, but I've never been brave enough to try it. It sounds like a really fun way to cook.
Yeah,
but
it does.
It
gives you a worry about cleaning it before serving it, I suppose, does it? Or...
Well, mainly, I don't know how long to cook anything for in that way, and I don't want to bugger it up.
Yeah.
Like a backstrap is quite a special thing, and I don't want to cock it up.
Did you probe thermometer it, or those wonderful meter thermometers, the digital ones?
100%. And if you are a bit unsure, just cage it and then throw the cage on so you can get it off quickly if you need to. So, when you just put a backstrap directly onto the heat, it sticks or it brings stuff up. If you just put it in a decent cage and have it away, I think you'll be fine.
And what didn't work, George? What was the one that really
one that really... Well, look, this is me being a little bit harsh on myself because it did work, but it was just I was disappointed in it. So a couple of summers ago, I asardoed a whole roe deer, and it was tremendous fun.
Good shout.
I had a lovely day. I lit the fire at sort of 9 a.m. and everybody else turned up at about 6. it was really good fun, and it was, reasonably tasty. But the thing about the reason the Argentines do it with lamb is because of the fat content that we were talking about earlier. It's sort of a low and slow cook, not a hot and fast, and the roe just didn't have enough fat on it. I mean, I marinated it overnight. I did everything I could to try and get it moist, but I was disappointed with it. The other thing is that because to cook through on the haunches, you need to have it on there for quite a long time. That meant that the back straps were pretty much cremated by the time that was all ready. And so, I think I'll probably give it another go another time. I don't know how I'm going to introduce any fat into the equation, but I think...
could you baste it?
Well, I was basting it like mad.
But have you tried injecting it direct to get a wide gauge and or some way of getting that 50mm syringe into it and permanent?
I've not tried that. But also, I think the other trick is to actually start carving it, when it's ready. If you see what I mean. So when the back straps are done,
as it comes,
just take them off.
Take them off,
and start handing it round rather than going. Wait
till it's all done.
Well, yes, exactly. And I think there's probably some other things. I'm going to do a bit more reading up on it because it must work. There must be a way.
I think it is the biggest trouble we're faced when cooking game is lack of fat.
Yeah, and so when I'm,
it's good point as it's bad point, isn't it?
Yeah. I've taken Hugo's advice on brining pheasant and partridge, and that is an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
It just gives you so much wiggle room. I haven't worked out how to brine an entire deer yet. Maybe paddling in the bath.
Well, I think I've got a cocktail to go with that, George, and I think it's this one's perhaps less about the meat and more about the chef.
Okay.
So this one is a Douglas Fairbanks, so it's sort of an homage to the moustache. So this one is served in a coupe glass.
I like it already.
Indeed. So 45ml of straight rye whiskey, 45ml of apricot liqueur or apricot brandy, 25ml of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and an egg white, and either 3 drops Difford's Do a saline solution or just a tiny, tiny pinch of salt. And then that's shaken with ice, strained back into the shaker, and then dry shake, which is shaking without ice. And that allows the egg to emulsify and give it the foam on the top. Fine strain it, and then a twist of lemon zest over the top and use as a garnish. And it's this wonderful sort of vegetal green colour, but all of those wonderful flavours going through it, and a bit of dryness from the rye whiskey that might offset some of that smoky flavour from the asado game.
It does sound good, but you remember what I said about admin and Pimms? That does sound like quite a lot of admin.
Well, it's not as bad as the other one I was thinking of, which is the Calvados fruit cup. But I have got one if you really, really, really like admin. And this is perhaps more for dessert if you're doing some schmores or something to finish off the evening. This one is the Campfire Sour.
Okay. Now this sounds like it should be good.
Yeah, so this is in a martini or a coupette glass. So it's 45ml of blended Scotch whiskey. You need a little bit of peated single malt, which we'll come to in a minute. This is quite fun. Toasted marshmallow syrup.
Right.
Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Egg white. Tiny bit of salt or saline solution. So, quite complicated. This one really is admin. So shake all the ingredients.
Gotcha.
Take the ice out, strain it, dry shake. That gives you emulsification.
Yeah.
Strain it into the glass, and then you spray the surface with your peated whiskey.
Right.
And garnish with a skewered toasted marshmallow.
And bear in mind, Jake's been on the rosé since before we even lit the barbecue.
I've just rung the bell, lads. That's flipping last orders. Christ, you turned up at 6. Goodness me, that is some work from the bartender, isn't it?
It is. Right. Now, against all the odds, we are just coming up. Well, actually, we're a bit beyond the hour mark, but I think we've just got time for some honourable mentions for anything that we've not talked about so far that we think just needs to be on people's radars. I'm going to go first. Just cold smoking stuff. It's not really barbecuing, but cold smoking is the nuts. Go and catch yourself some stocky rainbows and because smoked salmon is so delicious and expensive, we tend to think it must be really difficult to do, but actually it is unbelievably easy. You just need the right gear and a thermometer. And then it's
similar
brilliant.
vein, I'm going to go for fish as well. We used to have them on the banks of the Spey. Hot smoked sea trout, millionaire's kippers, absolutely bloody
Phenomenal.
wonderful.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fresh bread and butter, that's all you need.
Then I'm going to throw in, Abe, you just touched on it there, s'mores, can't go wrong. Make a s'more. It's so much fun. Children can get involved, get the s'mores forks and what have you. But if you're feeling a little bit out there, Baby Bell, chorizo slices, toast the Baby Bell on your s'mores fork over the fire, then grab it off with a slice of salami, chorizo, what have you. You've got yourself an hors d'oeuvre starter.
That sounds good.
S'mores.
Like that.
There we go, guys. So go with that. So, Sam, what have you got, buddy?
Absolutely nothing. Just go. I'd say go with fish. Get half a side of salmon, wrap it in foil, chuck in a load of white wine, butter, peppercorns, and sliced lemon, and put it all over the top of it. Make it into a parcel. Put that on the barbecue towards the tail end of it for about 20 minutes.
Good show.
Brilliant. Barring the salmon. Do it with trout instead.
Okay.
Excellent. Right. Very quickly, any other business?
So I'll go with some AOB. Hugo, aka the Game Glutton, is attending the game fair, guys. For this first time ever, he's going to take his food truck and he is trading. He's bringing the game back to the fair. So please go and support him. You know, it'll be his first game fair. He makes some amazing food. We've all tried it. He's going to be at the game fair. I think Kai might be there as well with his stuff. So yeah, go and have a look. That's my only other business.
And in fact, on the Garters group, Leon has literally just posted when he's going to be on the Guns on Pegs stand. So he's going to be doing breakfast every day at the game fair from 9 o'clock, doing venison, bacon,
Oh wow!
pheasant, sausage, and egg baps. That he's going to be there till about 11:30 or until things run out. So get there soon. And then later on through the day, he's doing venison and boar chipolatas and honey mustard, venison koftas, which I made some the other day. They're very good. And then he's also got some mixed game terrine. So swing by the Guns on Pegs stand if you are at the game fair.
We didn't even talk about wild boar. I think we need another episode on food, George.
I've got a feeling we could do 3 more: autumnal, Christmas, wintry and stuff
I'm
like
hungry
that.
now.
Yeah.
I'm hungry now.
Okay, well, we'll think about that then.
Very last thing, I'd just like to do a shout out for fellow member of the Most Noble Order of the Garter, Tom Ewan, who has just been nominated for...
I think it's young
conservationist.
Yeah.
Young
Conservationist on the Schofield Awards.
Yeah, so huge congratulations to Tom.
Outstanding.
Excellent stuff. Very good, gentlemen. Well, thank you for that. There's lots of ideas to go out there. As we said, we'll try and put as much of that in the show notes as we can. So let us know. I would really like people to, if they're feeling inspired by this, to actually throw a barbecue for some friends, to use up the last of the game in the freezer, make them friends who don't shoot, and then write to us and tell us the results.
Hell of a shout.
I would love for that to happen. Very good. Well, before we go, all that remains for me to say is there's a final reminder that you can get your hands on a pair of the very exclusive Guns on Pegs podcast shooting sock garters by sending us your shooting dilemmas or your unpopular opinions, your forgotten drives, or your podcast suggestions, or your tales of barbecuing game for your nearest and dearest. Drop us an email to pod@gunsonpegs.com, and if we read it out in the next episode or any future episodes, we will send you some garters. Chris and I will be back in a couple of weeks' time with another special guest. That episode's in the can already. It's going to be great. But until then, thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.